Skaven are Scunthorpians. That's a good way to describe Skaven, I guess.
I also want to state for the record that Scunthorpian is a very pleasing word to say.
It does sound fun to say. We should continue playing though. I
Okay.
want to keep playing.
So, off we go. So we have a plan. We know what we're gonna do. It's your classic bank plan, I think. We'll see how I can mess with you. Play. Oddly enough, a sufficient time has passed. Does anyone want to do anything else of note before you have a snooze and we move on?
Yeah, question.
Go for it.
I don't know what just happened. I don't know what you said. But when do I get to mash stuff?
Sanguis
Yeah.
smiles.
Don't worry about it. When I tell you to start hitting shit, you'll know. All right, that's when you start hitting shit.
I turn to the gnome and I say, "So, little lady, can I mash the Smurf?"
No. And she just kind of... Shit, what did I just press? Oh? I pressed the wrong button.
We noticed.
George hates us.
I hate you all. The game is...
George is
no,
too good
we
for
know.
this game.
You're ruining my
We're
carefully
running it.
created
Alright, I'm the
narrative!
Alright, I'm the DM now. Alright, dynamic entry, let's do it.
Look at me, look at me. I'm the DM now.
So, she kind of says, well, I think we should all get some sleep and be ready for the big day tomorrow. And she wanders off to a corner of the of the cargo area and just kind of slumps us against container and just kind of cozies on in.
She's very trusting of us, I say out loud.
You see her kind of smile and then sit down. She does have a machete that's about the length of her thigh still.
Well, my machete is the length of
say
her.
the length of my thigh is the length of my dick.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm so pleased I started recording this.
No, just cut in the size of my dick.
Okay.
So now you know.
Moving on.
Adam's gonna have a whale of time with that.
Moving
so
on.
Bumblebee is gonna attempt to sleep while watching everyone at the same time.
Cool.
Taurus kind of pulls his leather jacket a bit closer around him, trying to get comfy, but he's keeping a watchful eye as he's trying to doze off, especially on the orc.
I'm not sleeping, by the way. My character's
Eddie
not
is
sleeping.
praying, and I will show you what his prayer stance looks like when I get a picture of it. One sec. But he's just off in a corner praying. The entire night. He doesn't
Oh,
move.
sorry. That tailed off into mumbles. Are you done?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Amor, could you turn the volume up for the speaking a bit?
How do you mean?
Make the noises louder. There we go.
Up
Thank
the
you.
sound.
Yeah, exactly. So Graal lies down to sleep, which means that he puts his head on the floor and his butt's in the air, and then he falls asleep.
It's a very different kind of position than I was expecting, but
Yeah, like a 2-year-old.
work with
Like, he's down, and that's
I was thinking of a different thing, but all right.
If it fits,
All right.
he sits. Okay. Time passes and you wake up. Sangris hands out a bunch of protein block ration bar things that she seems to have procured overnight from somewhere.
I do not eat mine.
I don't want to know what crevice that came from.
So you are fed and you arrive in Jade Town. There are no windows on this cargo ship vessel. The only notice you get that you've arrived is the engine stop making a noise and feel the deceleration. The cargo ports open on the side, and yeah, a bunch of orcs and dwarfs and humans start streaming in. They're all wearing the same sort of overalls, same dark blue colour, and they come in and they start shifting boxes and connecting up forklifts and cargo, just generally going out of the work. What's telling is they don't really notice you. They're so used to people paying the cheap rate, they don't really know
Yay.
what to do.
let's start heading out. I guess. Does anyone have any objections to that?
Yeah, I think actually we should head out and we should kind of stagger the way we go inside. So I think I should go first, and then we should.
That's what the prayer stance looks like.
Wow.
It's great.
God. Anyway, so you're going to stagger the way you come out, so you don't look like you're all part of the same group.
I think so. It should be a good idea. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but Grant needs a piss.
That's
Now-
what
I've
the
been in there 24
5
hours.
minute break is for.
Olby yawns because he's not slept for like a couple of many hours now.
Now,
Nor he's eaten.
just because Janet will probably go, yep, that's Graal. As you all head out of the vehicle, where you are is you're in one of those. It looks like an artificial tree, a 15-meter concrete column going up to a big green bulb. And where you are, you can stand right on the edge where there's only a thin barrier holding you back, and it's just a sheer drop straight down.
Okay, that's where I pee.
I knew. Stand and piss off the end of the world.
Eddie also pisses off the edge of the world. And
like you're connecting streams.
No, Grant's
No.
pee.
Not
goes
past
further.
the
you don't
stream.
cross the streams. No, but all right. To all the men in the discussion right now,
Yeah.
you know when you're at a urinal, all right, and there's another man next to you for whatever
Uh-oh.
reason you're standing next to each other, and you're trying to look, but you're also trying not to
Don't
make
look
it look
over,
like
dude.
you're looking. All right, because you're trying to compare, you're trying to measure up, your manhood to another man's manhood,
Dude,
but
Grant
without
would
being
pee
gay.
your self-esteem.
You will find yourself wanting.
That's what Eddie's doing, but he's so good at it, you have no idea what's even going on.
Look, Graal uses 2 hands, alright?
Whoa. Volby just is like looking away, like kind of like blacking all this out, like it didn't happen.
Yeah, this is where we cut to Crucible after dark.
But I'm sorry, but it's before 9 p.m. and therefore the watershed is still in effect.
It is the morning, all right, over here, so it's whatever the fucking time of
6:55,
day I
yeah.
want it to be,
Cool.
George.
Okay. Eventually, you found your way to an apartment that has been rented out in Sangris's name. So it is the morning of day 1. What would you like to do?
I
I
would
want
like
to.
to enter the. Sorry, go on, Ken.
No.
Go first.
I just have a joke. I want to point out real quick that that's really great. Leave a paper trail. Rent
Oh.
out a place in your name. She's a professional, right?
She would not have used her own name. Still, anyway. Moving
just
on.
wanted to point that out.
Right, morning of day 1. What are you doing?
I guess we're all on the bank or heading to the bank.
Yep.
So I take a piss first because it's the morning. I just slept, or actually no, I didn't.
So, you are on the way to the bank. It's light, it's bright, it's cool. You're above the tree line, so there's no oppressive humidity. The air is cool, crisp, and clean. You're almost above. You're slightly above the cloud layer as well. It's just beautiful. And the J-Town itself is an island, is a city of white marble and big glass walls. Think the most like when you think like ultra modern architecture, like the Shard in London and stuff like that. It's all glass buildings, and
This makes Eddie uncomfortable.
it is brighter than bright.
Yeah, Eddie doesn't feel good being here.
So the
Oh,
bank.
I'll kind of stand up.
I feel quite happy being there. I think that every single dream that Sebastian has ends up living in one of those places, and this heist makes him feel like it's one step closer into renting an apartment, probably overlooking the bank, just like for shits and giggles. But I'd say okay. I think that the first thing to do is head to the bank, see what's going on there. I would need something that looks valuable. Anything, and does anybody have something like that?
Eddie doesn't. Eddie tries really hard to not draw attention to his gold necklace.
No, I wouldn't. It looks religious.
You're right, you wouldn't.
Sangris goes, oh, I know, and pulls out a data stick, like a USB stick.
That's a good idea.
You can say there are valuable files on here.
Of course. Great. Okay. I grab the stake and I say, okay, I'm heading in. It would be a good idea to have another pair of eyes around me, if that's okay. If whoever wants to join me.
Am I still going into the public bathrooms in there and taking the wire with me to attach?
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Cool.
Remind
I'll
me.
follow about like
Alright.
10 meters behind or something.
No,
I'll
come
go
with
in
me.
with the dwarf.
Remind me. What am I doing again? Just trying to get clarification.
When everyone's kind of in, your job is to take drones and just kind of do.
Oh yeah, just like do like the
physical scouting.
interior. Yeah.
Interior, exterior, just get as much as you can.
Okay.
I was supposed to be beating up the Smurf
That-
as a faction, was I not?
That comes later.
Is that day 2?
No, that's when. So when Dimitri is like past the front desk and is kind of like
Actually,
going
I
towards
think
the
it would be
vault.
better to do that when I'm in the vault.
Yeah. When he's like deeper into the facility, we have our little tussle, and
And then-
draws the guards away. So he might be able to like look around some corners, see some things that he's not supposed to see.
And then also I can send in like little spy drones.
yeah, that's when you
look
send in your
inside.
spy drones. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah,
how do we, OC? How do we coordinate this?
So I'm going in probably with TJ. What's your name of your character? Sorry, buddy.
Taurus.
Taurus. I'm going with Taurus. Taurus being as my secretary or something like that. And I'm gonna ask for a place in the vault. Somebody else, Bumblebee can go separately in, as for a secondary business, I guess, and just wait in the queue about third or fourth after me, to talk to somebody else. Then you two remain outside the bank, and when you see us essentially disappearing deeper into the bank, you wait for 10 minutes, and then you start to do some ruckus.
Good.
I was
Yes.
thinking that might be a bit obvious, or rather me and the orc coming in and then having a fight. That might be a bit.
And
Um,
also,
that
and
might
me
be
coming
bad.
in with like full body armor would look very suspicious.
Yeah,
Why
so
are you going in full body armor?
because he's
I
the
did
main
not take my-
character.
Yeah, dude, I'm the main character. I don't take
That's
this
his
armor
that's his gimmick. He's in
Okay.
armor. So what
I
I,
get
so what I'm thinking is, all right, Dimitri goes in, or Sebastian goes in, is like, yo, I need to secure my Nis, whatever. Does that, like 10 minutes later, Eddie and the dwarf go in. They both go to the bathroom. Eddie kind of watches the door, make sure no one's coming in. Blah blah blah. Dwarf goes in, does the wiretap. A little bit later, the orc comes in, and Eddie takes affront to the fact of an orc, these godforsaken creatures being here, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna fight this motherfucker. And then in the commotion of the fighting, that's when Dimitri can start trying to check things out on his own, at the same time as Drone Boy sending in his drones and checking things out.
Yeah, that sounds like a deal.
All right. Let's
Alright.
play it out.
Okay.
So,
You arrive at the EvaCorp building. It is the glass and thingy horrible monstrosity that you have seen. You are session menu. You come in through the front door, Dimitri. And who was with you exactly, or are you just on your own? Sorry.
Fix himself. It's
It's
cool.
Taurus, but Taurus is like sitting behind me a bit like a.
You arrive and with Taurus. You arrive and at the reception desk. Sorry, as you come in, there are some metal detectors, and 2 human guards in your classic black bodysuits with bright, glossy black plastic armor, and they're both carrying stun sticks at their sides. They look fairly casual. They're not expecting any. Good for you. As you approach the metal detector, what do you want to do?
Do I carry anything that was supposed to be detected by the metal detector?
Do you have a gun?
No, of course not with me. I'm going as a customer.
Cool. So,
Will the wiretap cable that I've got set off the metal detector?
anything metal will, yes.
Okay.
You
So-
can just say, "Oh, that's like part of my keychain."
So,
I've got it. I've decided to wrap. Before coming in, I decided to wrap the wire around through my belt loops, so it looks like some kind of weird
adornment.
fashionable belt.
Yep.
An ornament, yeah.
Well, you are the height of all fashion.
I am.
That's
For the
deal.
modern dwarf acrobat stealth guy on the go. So, you step through the metal detectors and they go off all wearing metal. The two guys.
I raise my hands, in so showing essentially here you are, check me out,
Yep.
kind of.
The
Standard
guards
procedure.
don't even say anything. They just come over to you. Excuse me, gentlemen. Are you wearing any kind of weaponry and/or offensive capability?
Not that I
So-
know of.
I'm going to have to search you now. Unfortunately, this is company policy, and yeah, I'm gonna search you. Please put your arms to your.
My arms are
Goes
ready.
to the
But
breakdown.
And they make a complete sham of it. They just start feeling your arms and feeling your chest, and it's like you're like, Jesus Christ, you're missing so many areas here. And they kind of, yeah, okay, thank you for that, gents. Please proceed to
okay.
now.
So what do we see in the reception then?
There is a beautiful blonde, blue-eyed elf sat there in most ridiculous pinstripe kind of dress skirty thing ever. You can't see, but you're pretty certain she's wearing like stiletto heels as well.
George letting his Aryan come
And
out.
she goes, "Hello, welcome to J-Town Secure Holdings. How can I help you today?"
Oh, hold on, real quick, George. Your voice is not high enough.
I
I demand it higher.
I go, well, hello there.
Oh God.
and
We found our inside man.
and hello
Not
to you, sir.
inside
How can I help you today?
I would like to essentially discuss the possibility of having some of my valuables bestowed or actually secured into your bank.
Ah, wonderful. We're always happy to accept new customers. Do you have an appointment?
No, but
Oh, well, I'm sorry. We don't see anyone without an appointment.
are you sure? I mean, I'm pretty sure we can figure something out.
Right. Would you like to make some kind of social skills check?
I have charm.
Does she ask you
I
that?
must say, he has not said, "I'd like to make a deposit in your box," and I am so,
That's a very good point.
I did,
so
I
disappointed.
did it on purpose.
Ayo. Okay. Charm check. Now, this is an opposed check,
Okay.
which is something different, and I always get it wrong. Build the dice
That could
pool
be
to
good
the-
for us.
Wink, wink,
Right,
nudge,
cool.
nudge.
Okay,
The
so
complete successes.
what's your charm?
3,
Okay, and what's your presence?
2.
So you're going to roll 2 yellow and a green.
Okay.
Now, it's an opposed check, so the negative dice are created out of her skill and characteristic.
Okay.
So, she has charm 1 and presence 2. So you're going to add a purple and a red dice.
Okay. Good.
Wouldn't she be rolling
Does
perception?
the fact that I'm wearing my nice clothes take any effect on that?
You
You
don't have nice
It's not
clothes.
good.
you do look the part, so I will let you have a blue dice. However, don't have an appointment. So you're going
Yeah.
to take a black dice as well because you're at a slight disadvantage.
Okay. Good. Let's try that.
Normally I would make you roll
What the fuck just happened here?
You've got 4 advantages and 2 fails.
Okay.
4 advantages don't really help you that much.
No, you might get a phone number.
and,
I mean,
and
yeah,
at, the,
that's a particular
With
kind
4
of
advantages, I'm getting here to dinner.
Yeah, you're
and-
getting her panties.
at the end of the day, isn't that why we play role-play games? No.
No, we're trying to escape reality in our lost love conflict.
Wait.
Heyman sighs,
this-
looks wistfully into his coffee, and then goes back into character.
I don't have coffee. I don't drink coffee.
Okay,
Wait,
So-
guys.
go for it.
Is he allowed to pass blue dice to people, or if those advantages, can he?
Yes, he will, yes. So,
Or can he? Okay.
you've failed, because you've got 2 failures. However, you've got 4 advantages. Now, what you can do is for 2 advantages, you can pass a blue dice on someone to make that another check. If Taurus wants to try and do a charm check, they would get a bonus 2 blue dice to their roll.
How charming does Taurus look like?
He looks like probably
A
I would.
dwarf.
What are you wearing at the moment, Taurus?
I'm only wearing my leather jacket. I'm not Yeah,
Only?
No, hold on. For a second, I thought you were gonna say jock strap, and I was excited.
Well, you never know what's underneath, but hey.
So, okay, so Taurus, when you say you're only wearing a leather jacket, you are wearing other clothes as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're not a
So I'm
flasher.
like a naked cowboy in New York
yeah.
City.
Good. Okay. Well, I'd say that I would like to use my advantages, and I understand that she will tell me that I cannot have an appointment today, but I would ask her very nicely. Well, I understand that it's your job and you're doing it very well.
Yep.
No,
She seems
no.
enamored.
Would you
No,
be able to-
you fucked it up. No, I have the best line for this.
Go for it.
No, it's like, oh, I know I don't have an appointment for right now, but maybe I can get an appointment later with you.
Well,
dinner
I was
or
about to
something."
say exactly that.
Ah!
Stop
Be more
stealing the
confident
thunder.
about
Okay.
Don't let me steal your thunder. Don't let me cook you.
Okay. So she says, I'm so sorry, but yes, we don't have anything right now.
What about tomorrow or a bit later on?
Blowing it, man. Blowing it.
She
Hey,
kind
no.
of makes a show of looking through a beautifully ornate leather ledger. I have 2 appointments for you if you'd like. There is one at 1 o'clock this afternoon in here, and then maybe 7 tonight for dinner, maybe.
That sounds excellent.
I love it. I love it when the DM and a player, both men, flirt with each other. It's great.
Oh, I think it's cute.
Ooh.
I
Eamon.
think it's sticky.
Okay.
Yeah.
His wife has an enormous,
Doodle's got
so
it.
he has to get his jollies where he can.
Oh, it's
So,
too real, alright.
so,
Yeah, what's up?
yes. She says, "Come back at 1 o'clock."
I will do that. And you get ready for 7 o'clock, and well, something even hotter. And I'm
Oh, this is just hurting.
I hope he's not saying that on the comms.
Okay.
Like,
So,
Yeah, no, we hear all of it.
Yep, probably yeah.
So,
Yeah, whether he likes
you
it or not,
leave,
Eddie is
and
just,
time passes on, and
wait.
it gets
As we leave, I head into the public toilets in the bank, and I go into one of the cubicles,
Ooh.
and I take off the wire tap that I've wrapped around as a belt.
Yep.
And how do I make a check for?
So
being able
it's
to
going to be an acrobats check because you're going to need to jump up onto the toilet, up into the ceiling, have a bit of a wriggle around, and clip it onto a cable.
Do you want to
Okay.
call in Eddie just to make sure you have time to do all this? Because if someone walks in while you're doing that, it's going to be a problem.
The bank is
Yeah.
fairly empty. It is still early morning, so the bank is fairly empty.
Oh, it should be okay then.
Alright.
Do you want to do a perception check for cameras or something first?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay. So,
Cameras in the bathroom?
what's your perception?
Tricky,
Two.
wow, wow.
My
Oh,
perception is 2.
What's your cunning at the
hold on.
top?
Sorry, my character sheet is messed up, so I'm having to search on the other thing. My cunning is 2 as well.
So you're going to roll 2 yellow dice. Now, it's a small area, so it's going to be 1 purple dice, because it's such a small area, you don't need to look. So I need you to roll 2 yellow and a purple.
Okay.
You don't notice anything, you don't notice any cameras, but the advantages are, while you have a look around, you notice that the room is empty.
Okay.
We have been
Congratulations,
Fabulous.
you did it.
have we
You
have
are
we made
winning.
I think we have 3 failed checks and 1 successful check this whole game.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
we've been playing for an hour.
The dice are a cruel mistress. So, there is the ceilings at the top where you can pop through and go. So I need an acrobatics check off you. So, what is your athletics?
Hold on. My athletics is 2.
What's your brawn?
My brawn is 3.
So, 2 yellow and a green. It's not the most acrobatic thing you need to do. It's a bit of climbing and a bit of wriggling. So,
Mhm.
you're going to be 2 purple dice, average check, but also ceiling isn't designed for dwarves scrabbling about, so you're going to take a black dice.
Okay.
Oh! 4 successes and a
Murder.
disadvantage.
Ooh.
So
Uh-oh.
you
Gets
quite
his knee.
you quite happily get up there and attach the wire.
Brilliant.
The disadvantage is that you cause a slight bit of damage to one of the ceiling tiles.
Right.
But
I
it's
know
only
all
one
this.
disadvantage, so it's not going to be some janitor's not going to walk in and go, the ceiling tile's cracked, we've got intruders. It's going to
okay.
be
Kill them
manageable.
all!
They kill everyone in the fucking bag.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
So I sort of I unhook my foot from the damaged tile a little bit.
Yep.
And make my way back down, and sort of readjust my clothes and brush myself off and head out.
oh, and the time it took you, it was absolutely fine. No one follows you into the toilets afterward.
Good.
Okay. So, Demetrius,
Yeah.
your rigging deck goes, bing, new connection.
Okay. Who's that? Open up.
It is the feed from the wiretap.
Interesting. Okay. I go to Torres and said, all good.
Okay, the first thing you see is that there are silent alarms and panic alarms, and in the vault there is a laser grid in front of the lock boxes. From what you can see, basically when they go down, the security staff, the bank staff code in, and it basically disables the laser grid for that particular column of lock boxes. When I say laser grid, I mean it's not like cut your fingers off lasers. I mean you cut the light and it sets off an alarm.
It's a sensory laser rather
That's the
than
one, yeah.
Yeah, detection.
Okay. We'll have to do a bit more studying on that to find out essentially how is it powered and how can we override it.
Yep.
But there's no time for it. I guess unless I have time waiting, I can sit down for a coffee and go through it essentially.
Yeah, you can, and you if you want to do me a if you do me a, do you have mechanics at all?
No.
You can do me an untrained mechanics check if you'd like. Because it's
Okay,
not,
what
we're talking basic mechanical knowledge. So literally, what's your intellect?
2.
You're going to roll 2 green dice versus 2 purple dice.
Wait, before he does that, I have a skill in mechanics.
Okay, well, it depends if Demetrius wants to let you in on what he's looking at.
Of
Alright.
course, I will share information. That's the
Fine,
most
okay.
important thing.
So, it's a laser grid that's powered, that trips an alarm. Do you want to roll me a mechanics check then, Funless?
Yes, let me since the character sheet's all messed up, let me go to edit character and just see what my skill is.
It's fine. It's on my to-do list to fix the Genesis character sheet. John Bonanza basically pushed it out in one night just so that we could do this one shot.
Nice.
So first of all, remind me again, is agility based on what's mechanics?
Mechanics is intellect.
Is it intellect?
Yeah.
So I have 2, and let me go back to it. So I get 1 green and 1 yellow.
Okay, cool. Versus 2 purple.
Alright, so I just okay. 1 green and 1 yellow. Yeah, that's what I said. Do I get any blue or black?
No, it's just a straightforward, you're thinking something out.
Roll. Can I escalate that? Can
Nothing
I no, wait.
happens. You don't even
Let me
roll.
escalate this. Can I escalate it?
Escalate?
It's where you upgrade the green into a yellow, and then you upgrade the purple into a red.
I've never heard of that
I think-
mechanic.
It is a
Check
thing.
in the Star Wars book. Check in the Star Wars book. I think it's in
Uh,
there.
no.
If we're
No.
not using
Alright.
the core book of Genesis, it's not a thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Alright,
sorry.
I'm not sure. I just don't know if it's in Genesis. That's what I'm asking. Okay,
I'll
that's
check
fine then.
it.
But
No.
it's fine.
Demetrius,
Yeah,
you can
that's fine.
attempt an untrained check if you'd like.
Yeah.
Funless can assist you now, and basically what you do is you combine the best of your pools. Because you're 2-2 and you're both 2s and 1, essentially you're going to make the same dice roll again with him assisting you.
1 green, 1 purple.
1 green, 1 yellow, 2 purple. So what you do is when you do an assisted check like this, you take the best characteristic and the best skill. So you've both got 2 intellects, so that's a by the by. But he's got 1 mechanic and you don't. So you take his mechanics. So you roll the same dice again.
3 dice again. 3 dice in total, right?
Yellow, green, 2 purple. So
2
4
purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disadvantage. Oh, yeah. Threat/disadvantage. No, you don't pass. That's fine.
Well,
You
there we
can't
go.
think of an obvious way to disable the laser grid at this time.
But you talk about mechanically. I was thinking of actually accessing the grid of the bank, hacking away the connection to the electricity, so to cut down the electricity to the location.
All right, sure. If you want to
That
do
was
it,
my original
if you want to
idea.
do a computers check, you can. And it'll be it'll be 2 purple. You've got full access, and you've got the plans, so it's an average.
I know that defense CSOP is supposed to be used for defensive purposes, but since I have access to the mainframe they have, can I consider it an advantage knowing essentially how they're going to defend themselves?
I will allow it. Take a blue dice.
Okay, so 2 purple, 1 blue, 1 green, 2 yellow.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I'm getting the hang of it. Oh,
Good. That's the triumph.
yeah, but
Yes, you pass. You figure, you rationalise that actually you could cut the power here, and that will cut the power to the laser grid. The triumph, the unexpected boon I offer you is that actually you look a bit further and you go, well, to be fair, if I just isolate this circuit, then that'll stop the alarm signal going anywhere. So you can cut the grids and the alarm signal won't go off.
great. What I want to do then with this check is to create a subroutine which is going to be ready to be fired off when I want it to do.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you know you can get in at 1 o'clock. You know you still have got distraction plans.
Well, I guess it took us some time to do all of this.
Yes,
so.
it does. Yeah. So it comes to 1 o'clock. You have an appointment with a hot blonde elf.
I thought
So
that was-
that's
Oh,
the
that's
point at the bank.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
bank.
So I go back inside. Do I leave the useless guards to molest me a bit?
Yep, they do the exact same thing, and you kind of realise they actually say it verbatim as well.
Yeah. So I go to the girl and say, "Well, long time no see. Can I have my appointment now?"
She giggles playfully.
George, I'm not immersed. Can you please giggle for us?
My immersions. Anyway, she smiles politely and yes, certainly. Just take a seat behind me, and one of our people will be with you to give you a tour.
Gladly.
Boris, are you with him,
I can be.
or is anyone with him?
If Taurus was with me before, he should be again.
Okay.
Just so they don't draw attention.
That's fine. So you're with him now. Okay.
I'm with Sebastian.
Right. Yeah. After about 5 minutes, another elf comes along, a male elf this time in a business suit.
Oh.
Hello, I am Malkuth. I am the teller here. You are, and I understand you are willing to deposit something in our system.
Indeed.
Well, what is the nature of the item you'd like to deposit?
Sensitive data.
Very good, very good. We offer physical security boxes. We do offer data boxes as well. What would you prefer?
Physical box would be fine.
Very good, very good. I will, of course, need to take your details. Do you have an identity card or a cyber identity I can take off you?
Of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
How are you going to handle this?
Honestly, to be 100% sure, Frank, I haven't thought about it. So, try.
A hacker would have a ghost.
I was about to say,
apparently.
my first question is, do I have an identity I'm using normally? Because that's the thing. I want to make it feel as comfortable as possible.
Okay.
If I have an identity already, I would use that. If I don't, I would give my actual data and not try to, mock something up on the spot.
And now comes a very cool mechanic in Genesis called story points. Basically, you get in Star Wars you had destiny points. In Genesis you get story points. when you join the game, you each get, I think it's 1 story point per player character.
Yeah, the group gets a total of, story points equal to the number of players. So
Yeah.
in our case,
So you have 5 story points. They can be used to upgrade dice. They can also be used to negate situations. The classic example in Star Wars is you go to a gas planet and the DM says, "Oh, you haven't got any breathing apparatus." You can spend a story point to go, "Oh, I remember, I packed some just last week," and it spawns the item as an incidental. For you, what you can do is you can spend one of your story points to say, "Ah, yeah, I'm going to use my pre-prepared ghost identity that I've always had." The downside to that is I then gain a story point for me to use for nefarious purposes.
Okay.
So
I encourage you to use the story point.
Yeah, they are great, and they are designed to flow back and forth. So when I spend a story point, it goes back to you.
Yeah, specifically let George get as many story points as possible because I want to see what he does with them so I can judge him for it.
Nice.
There are very particular ways you use hand waving him to fuck your players, and
Wait,
I get
so
to judge him on that.
Do we have 5?
Have 5
story
story points. No,
Yep.
total for the group.
Right. Okay.
Be divided up as the group sees fit.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I could choose to use all 5 if I
Something
wanted to.
epic.
I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole for it, but I can.
Nice.
Providing the party agrees. So,
I heard that.
I don't know if
Right.
it said the party had to agree. I'll double check.
so you're spending a
So-
story point to have a pre-prepared ghost identity
Yeah,
ready to go.
Identity, which is called on first spot.
Yep. He scans He scans your sort of data wafer, and it comes up with the identity of some random human from Oaken Rift that has the appropriate level of money and status behind them. And he smiles, seemingly satisfied with the results. If you'd like to follow me, Mr. Smith, that will be just fine.
No, my name is Onfes.
Pardon?
My name is Onfes.
On-
Pot.
Omthus, beg pardon. If you'd like to follow me.
I do follow him, and I pay very careful attention, essentially, of anything around. At the same time, I'm picking him up, so I'm asking him first person. So, what will make you sure that nobody can get into what I'm putting in your bank today?
Well, let me show you the logboxes, and then we can go from there.
Okay then.
So,
Okay then.
leads you down a lift, it leads you to the corner to the lifts and down a floor, and you come out in a dark concrete, basically warehouse. There are 3 rows of big metal containers, and you can see on either of the long sides that they are full of lockboxes.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to the first row and the first box in the top right, and he just reaches in, and as he does, you see the laser grid shuts off for that column, and he just pulls the top box out. There's no locks or anything like that. He just pulls the top box out and takes you over to a table nearby. These things are, of course, fully secure and rated to withstand many different types of attack.
It seems like we're very easy to go in it. What is different for you? I mean, why wouldn't you be able to just grab any box from in there?
There are security factors here. There is a laser defense grid and automated defenses can kick in, but points at some discrete marks on the ceiling where there's like square panels, and he says there are defenses that deploy if someone reaches for a box that isn't theirs.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yes, we like to be upfront about these things. Gives the customers a sense of confidence in our abilities.
Better. Right. May I have the box?
The box that he's taken, he says this is a demonstration model. He opens it, and inside it's just nice and padded, nice red velvet interior, and he says this is the standard size box. Will this be about right for you?
It sounds about right. Yeah, I have a question for you actually. How often can I have access to the box? And do I need an appointment to have access to the box? Because I'm going to be doing some other transactions in the days to come.
You can, of course, designate proxies to come and access the box, by all means. And we are open 12 hours a day.
Okay, and I can access it any day without an appointment, I guess.
That's correct. Once you are in the system, you are in the system.
Good to know. I would love to be in the system.
He smiles. It's like the customer has made a joke, therefore smile.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a joke.
The
customer attempted.
he leads you along to a third row. He replaces the box and leads you along to a third row. Then takes one out. This will be yours.
Excellent. Payments for the box, weekly basis, daily basis.
We prefer to pay monthly. Fees are 1,000 credits a month.
Understood. Perfectly clear. And in terms of compensation, in terms of in case of loss.
Depends on the value of the goods. We do offer a considerably competitive insurance scheme.
Good to know. Okay. May I have some privacy to enter my equipment?
Of course. When you are done, please come back upstairs and we'll arrange payment. And
good.
With that, the elf leaves you to it.
Excellent. So I will be essentially taking my time to put the thing inside, but what I want to do is scan throughout the area and transfer to everybody else as many photos as possible from the vault around me.
Yeah.
Because I am one man and I can see some things, but 10 set of eyes can actually see more.
That's fine. There are one.
I say to Sebastian, Sebastian, would it actually be beneficial to take out this insurance plan? I mean, technically we could rob the bank twice. If we steal our own item.
Oh, my good friend. I'm already
about
planning
insurance plan. You pay them to have the insurance plan, so it might end up costing you more money than you'll be given back. Depends. They also have to evaluate what the actual data is worth, or anything is worth. So
that's true.
Depends.
So, you do have a good look around. You do see several cameras. You do see more of these squares.
Do you want to roll perception or something like that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It's going to be an average difficulty two check.
Okay.
Two
And
purples.
I have perception 1, and I have a skill is it doesn't matter actually. It's always 2 for me. So I roll what? A green and a yellow, right?
Yeah. And then
do I
2 purples.
And 2 purples. Do I get any bonuses from the fact we have time to do it, or?
Yep, you've got plenty of time to take a blue dice.
Do I add my skills in as well?
You're all assisting him, aren't you? Kind of, because you're all seeing his feed.
Well, I'm in there with him, aren't
Oh,
I?
of course you are. Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
perception?
My perception is 2.
We'll get you to roll a separate check. So, Demetrius, roll your dice.
Yeah. Here you are.
Okay. 3 successes and a threat. That's fine. And TJ, roll yours. So, what was your perception? 2, and what's the underlying
2.
skill?
Sorry, what skill is that?
Perception is cunning. Probably 2.
Yep, 2.
So 2 yellow dice, 2 purple dice, and a blue dice.
Okay.
Wine guns.
Okay,
There you go.
you have successfully, both of you have successfully had a good look around. There is a disadvantage, which will come into play. There are 4 cameras, 1 on each corner, good field of view, and there is 3 defense turrets. Basically, if you see, if you see the picture, the defense turrets are at the end of each row.
Okay, yep.
Basically, with decent field of fire.
Now my question is, if the stars were to fire and the boxes were in between, would they fire through the boxes, damaging the contents of the boxes?
I'm sure the boxes are bulletproof.
from your experiences of the network, there's some pretty sophisticated security going on. Would surmise that there is protection against this happening.
Good. Okay then. I think we've got everything we can get from here.
Yep.
Yep. Right. So you've got two choices now. You can go away and evaluate what you've got, or you can rob the bank now.
I think that nobody's in place. It would be extremely stupid to do that right now.
No, Eddie's still just outside.
Yeah, but we're not in the right places. We don't have our getaway car in place. We don't have the muscle close to
We
us.
haven't organised the
We're
distraction.
not doing the heist now. This was just
Okay.
a
No,
case.
it's me. I said, do you want a case or go? So, yeah. Are you making your way back up to the exit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gra-
You get up.
Yeah.
The elf comes over and thanks you, and says, "We do bill a month in advance, so we will require 1,000 credits from."
Of course, I understand. Do we have this kind of money available?
The gnome, Miss Noma, says, "Hang on," and you suddenly get a notification that 1,000 credits have been transferred to your account.
And I nod very hesitant. Of course, here you are.
And he scans your credit wafer, and the money promptly disappears.
Very glad to do business with you.
Yes, and we hope to do more business. We're always happy with that.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. While going outside, I'm going by the young girl at the office and I say, well, 7 o'clock. And I give her essentially the address of, I don't know.
Hey,
I would say-
yeah, that's fine. You can quite happily Google, as it were, a decent bar.
Yes.
Okay.
That one.
Right. Time passes. What do you want to do?
Well, I don't think we need to actually play what happened in this.
That's fine. You go and have an
Yeah, we can-
enchanting evening, and you successfully hide the pickle.
Did I have to roll a stealth?
Actually, no, stop. No, have him roll just charm or whatever, and we'll
I can
go
roll
based off.
charm.
Okay.
Maybe fine.
I want a charm
roll
check versus 2 purple.
2 purple. Okay, and I have a charm of 3. So I roll
What's your presence?
2.
So
Everything.
you know this one.
So 2 yellow, 1 green.
Bingo. And 2 purple.
And you're gonna give me a blue because I'm gonna be super sexy for.
Okay, I'll allow it. Oh!
Shit, boy.
I think that the pickle was not hidden, but I think I might be getting a wife.
You fail to woo yourself into her pants. However,
Okay, that's fine. We
however,
have fun.
with 5 advantages, which is obscene.
You get a second date.
No, well, he does get a second date. That's a given. But she talks about work a bit,
Oh.
and she
So
But
it's,
it's just about Janet in the other office. That's a huge bitch. And it's nothing useful.
Huge bitch with an enormous penis, I'll have you know.
she says that
I'll
She
have
says
you
that it's-
know, I said Janet.
it's very
without
boring.
even thinking about that Janet is the actual other person. I just had it as a random name.
Oh,
It's a random name.
Don't sass Janet,
forgot that
she
Janet
can-
was here.
she can ban you from Smith's Bar. Anyway,
Oh,
she-
that'd be a godsend, please.
she talks about work. She talks about how boring it is at that bank, and she talks about the fact that the bank is actually in financial trouble because all they seem to do is hold items for museums and other kind of antiquities, and there's not really much money in it, and they are kind of half subsidized by the government for that kind of work. Yeah. You have a pleasant enough evening, but she does say after about a few hours that thank you for the time, but she's going.
Oh, of course. I mean, we're more than happy to walk her home as well. I wasn't planning anything else. I mean, I need my brains,
Yep.
where they are for tomorrow.
No sausage time.
This reminds me of Blackadder when he says the poem to her. Sausage time! Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
She's...
Oh, you know what, Hunter, real quick, you know what would have been a really interesting way to go about this whole heist?
One.
Get like the manifest or whatever information, find out that the bank is whatever in kind of financial straits or dire straits for financials. Find out whoever has like the most so essentially how insurance works for in terms of a bank is you pay a premium, but you get a significant payout of whatever is lost effectively of yours. So whoever stands to like the biggest museum or private collector has a bunch of shit there, who might be interested in having the place get robbed, and they get a huge insurance payout without losing any of their stuff.
That is something certainly to look at for if we
Get
ever do another
benefits.
session. So
Yeah.
the night passes, and it is the day of the heist. What are we doing?
Shit, do we even have a plan anymore?
Well, let's just go in there and start blasting things.
I honestly expected that. We also don't have much time.
So
we have a plan. It's a very clear plan. We enter.
Well, we got the casing down.
So here's the bullet points of what you've got. Sangris has arranged for a ground car to be placed outside, ready to go. You've got the keys to it. She's gonna.
That's where we need Bumblebee to be, essentially.
She's gonna be now taking on the logistics role and not being part of it. Basically, when you tell her go, the other team will start their diversion on another bank, relatively nearby.
Okay, so we need that to happen about 15 minutes before we enter the bank.
That's fine. You have successfully bitch-slapped their computer network. It is now your network, due to the placing of the wiretap and the general work you've done. So computerized defenses are going to be minimal. From what you've seen, there are 2 very bored security guards, and that's about it. And
I think that would be the slapstick for the orc.
Yep. The orc will
Or
make
the
them
Eddie,
their
you know,
bitch.
Yes.
Don't forget about the Eddie.
No, Eddie, we don't forget you at all. Actually, Eddie, you need you in the bank because the guards will be the easy part. The hard part will be the thing that we do not expect to happen. And that's why we need you in the bank.
You
so
misunderstand. The thing you don't expect to happen is Eddie. He's the wild card of every heist.
So you are ready to go.
Right. So we're going to the bank.
Yep.
Once again,
You have
making sure that everybody is in position.
Yep.
Myself.
So Sebastian and Taurus go in first, get down to the vault, and then we get signaled and we come in and just start.
So presumably you've sent the signal to start the diversion.
The moment we are ready to go into the bank, before we enter, we say go.
Yep.
On that, so it starts to happen essentially.
Yep.
And we enter the bank at the same time, asking to have access to the vault, to essentially making a change on the deposit we have in there.
Okay. As you're there, the security guards let you through, and they're quite, they recognize you now as a customer. As you're kind of chatting with the high elf you took on the date, and you're reminiscing, the security guards both put their hands to their ears and stop, and then start muttering about, oh, for fuck's sake, they're being attacked again. They need better security down. And they start muttering.
Okay.
Oh, I have a really cool thing I want to do.
So, you are led to the vault, and you are left to your devices.
In that case, I'm asking our ops to be by the door.
Yep.
Shutting down the grid, taking the box out, opening the box, taking the thing. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so step by step. Already prepared the way for the computer network, so you successfully disable the security cameras and auto turrets for that area. The laser grid isn't a problem either, as you've Orc and Eddie upstairs. Matrix style, you walk into the building. What do you do
I want
next?
to do a really cool thing.
Go for it.
All right. So Eddie makes a point of walking in first. So did we overhear because we have like voice comms going presumably.
Yeah.
Anyways. Did the rest of us overhear what the guards kind of said?
Probably not, because they were
Probably
quite
not.
far away. Yeah, but they are still as you come in, they are still talking about the fact that one of the other banks seems.
All right, so so Eddie, hold on, let me get the image open. Yeah, Eddie walks up to him. He doesn't like. Is there a line at all for the metal detector?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
There's a line. All right, so while Eddie's standing in the line, sticking out like a sore thumb, he's trying to have a conversation with the guards. He starts it up. He's just kind of standing there. He's like, "Hey, you guys doing okay over there? You look worried."
No, it's fine. It's not us you have to worry about. It's the other place.
Oh, what's going on at the other place?
Oh, one of the other banks is being robbed. Idiots.
Oh, that's a damn shame.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is the security good here?
He kind of stiffens up a bit and says, well, as can be expected.
Well, what can I expect?
That would be for customers.
Can you say that again?
Pardon? Oh, that
You-
would
you
be
cut
for
out, yeah.
customers to know.
Oh, okay. Maybe I as a customer, maybe not. Anyways, maybe I want to be a customer, and you just kind of turn a customer away. I don't know. At what point does this conversation end with me being next in line?
You're there.
All right. So I want to step through the metal detector and have it go off.
Okay, yeah, it
All
goes
right,
off.
So the thing goes off. Like I kind of like I step out of it and like I put my hands up, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry about that, my friend. Speaking of pretty shit security, as he like opens his fucking leather jacket or his trench coat,
Matrix
and
style.
somehow pulls out this like huge shotgun with a fucking drum magazine on it. Somehow out of his, like, out of his fucking trench coat. And he just fucking levels it at him at the hip. It's like, yeah, I was wondering about that security because that's gonna be a bit of a fucking problem for you guys now, ain't it? Yeah.
Okay, and we shall go into combat time.
I'm not firing at them. I want to. Well, I want to see what they do. Or actually, rather, hold on. I say this.
All right.
I have the shotgun level at them, well, one of them at least.
Yep.
I'm like, all right. I want to say this first and foremost. You guys are cool. I like you. You're all right. If you don't want to die, tell me. I'll let you live. If you do want to die, do anything else besides saying that. All right. What's your choice? And that's I want to try to persuade that, or what's it? Do I have it?
Coercion.
Yeah, coercion. Yeah, I want to coerce.
Okay, it's going to be your coercion versus.
Yeah, I have two green dice.
It's going to be versus 2 purple. No, it's going to be versus 2 purple, and you're going to have a +2 blue dice situational bonus for having
I
a
knew it.
shotgun pointed at them.
So, Arhan, I want to use a story. So I was reading the things about the story.
Yep,
points.
yep.
I want to use one to do a helping hand, which is upgrade one of my green dice to a yellow die.
That's fine. Go for it. I now have
Can I
2
also
story
use a
points.
story point and say that I just kind of walk in the room in full body armor.
Yep. Your story point is that you were there all along.
Okay, so we used 3 total. So you have. So we have 2 and you have 3. Jordan.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Okay, go for it.
That's good enough.
Yes.
Rolled.
The security guard takes a step back, reaches for his stun button, and then goes, "Do you know what? This fucking ain't worth it." And
It is not.
puts his hands up to his sides. Now here comes the fun bit for Janet. Both
Yeah.
security guards are staring intently at Eddie. They have their backs to you as you come through. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm glad
Janet, smash!
Blood and Janet.
Yeah, I've been a little else of it. Okay, so Graal walks through the door.
Yep.
He has a flamethrower strapped to his back. He has his shepherd's crook, that is the kind of 5-foot rebar with a hooked end.
Yep.
He walks straight through the metal detector.
It somewhat
Cool.
beeps.
It starts to blare and scream.
Actually, does it kind of like wimp out? It starts to go like beep, and then it's like, oh, ooh, no. It's like it stops beeping. It like it realizes the situation.
It is beeping somewhat. Yes, Janet, carry on.
Also,
He
also
looks at it.
Carry on,
sorry,
Janet.
He looks down at his rebar and he says, "You can't have it. It's cultural."
Fuck?
The security guard turns around and sees this mountain of orc a bit too close for comfort. What do you want to do?
I smile. I say, "Hello," and I smash him over the head with a rebar.
Okay,
Come on,
so
you're innocent man.
we're not going to roll
Um,
initiative because it's very, very obvious that you're about to hit him. So,
Yeah.
your melee heavy combat is like any other check.
Oh,
So you are when you're engaged with someone, which is like close combat, you roll 2 purple dice.
2 purple dice.
Now this is
Right.
where it's modified by defense and stuff. So your melee heavy is what?
3,
Your brawn is
4.
That's my
you roll
stats too.
you roll
This
three
Go ahead.
you roll 3 yellow and a green versus 2 purple
Yeah.
and a black. They have melee 1 defense.
All right.
You've caught him slightly unaware, so you're going to get a blue dice as well.
All right.
So 3 yellow, 1 green, 2 purple, blue and a black.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Oh, it cancelled
I
out.
hit the man.
That's not bad. You've hit the man. So the damage for the weapon should be... I gave you a plus number.
Yeah. +8.
So it's brawn
Yeah.
plus 8.
12.
Now, because you've got 3 uncancelled successes, did I give you crit 3 as well?
Yes.
You score a critical hit as well. Basically, the crit number is the amount of uncancelled successes you need to roll to activate a critical hit. So, you've done 13 points of damage off the bat. Minus the soak of the bad guy. He have successfully split his helmet in 2. He looks extremely ill. Now on page 114, you'll find my favourite table.
Okay.
Mental
Scribbles in
damage.
the book.
The critical injury table. Now need to roll a D100,
Right.
which is on there. Just roll a single D100. Did I make your weapon vicious at all?
No, it's knockdown and inferior.
That's
as a
fine.
specialty.
So, fearsome
Fearsome
wound. The target increases the difficulty of all presence of willpower checks. 1. Critical in. You literally...
Means nothing.
do you want to describe how you do it?
Yeah, so I raise it in 2 hands straight above my head and I smash it down onto him as if I'm banging a post into the ground.
Okay.
There's very little finesse, but there is a grunt.
You successfully crack his armor open, helmet open like an egg. It's kind of comical in that you hit him so hard you actually see the floor indent somewhat, and the guy just crumples to the floor, bleeding profusely from a head wound, and he is attempting to crawl away.
Can I shoot him in the head?
I'm not even going to make you roll for this. He is very much on his last 2 wounds. You basically walk up and put him out of his misery.
I yell, if you want to end up like him, then run away. If you want to stay alive, then stay down on the ground.
Security guard who is being threatened by Eddie keeps his arms at his side and goes,
Oh, no,
Talking to
I want
civilians.
to. No,
Talking
as
to
the other guy's getting hit, I want to shoot this guy.
"All right, okay."
I have to
I'm also
So,
trying to threaten civilians. and say,
Give me a ranged check. Again, it's going to be engaged, so 2 purple, and he
Yeah.
gets a black for his defense.
So I also want to do auto fire on this motherfucker.
Okay.
So I have auto fire on my shotgun.
Now, if I recall, that gives you a disadvantage, but then you get to activate.
I think
It
upgrades the
it increases the difficulty by 1 purple die.
Yeah,
So it's
it
3
increases the
purple.
difficulty.
Yeah, 3 purple. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the rules on we'll do it in a second. Never mind. What's my so my agility is 4, and my ranged heavy is 2. So I get 2 yellows and 2 greens. 3 purple. And 1 black, right? For the fact of him being completely unarmed and not wanting to die and bitching out, do I get any blues for that?
Get a blue because he's literally stood there, arms open, like ready to receive the joyful
As
love of
perfect
shotgun.
a shot as possible. Hey,
Now
I get nothing but goodness.
in in combat, a triumph is an automatic critical hit.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It's safe to say with that dice roll, you basically create a new cavern in his sternum.
Nice.
The
I wanna-
beautiful white marble wall behind him is now a Jackson Pollock painting.
What's a more fun way to do this? Actually, I think because it's auto fire, because I also got I also got enough advantage to trigger auto fire anyway. I didn't even need to necessarily up the difficulty for it. It's from the midriff up is just shotgun blast one after another, and what's left is just kind of like a canyon of a person.
Yep.
So like you just have like the sides of the torso up to the armpits, and that's it. But with like a deep, it's like an upside, it's like a V basically of human flesh.
Demetrius, down in the vault, you hear the high-pitched screaming of a high elf. Upstairs, everyone, you hear the high-pitched screaming of a high elf receptionist who's just seen two long-term. Okay. She
No, I'm kidding.
she is screaming in sheer terror, and she basically hides under the desk.
I turn and point my gun at the general rest of the crowd. And
Should I deal with it, Eddie, or with the
so-
crowd, and then you deal with the person, I'll deal with the crowd.
You mean I'll deal with the screamer?
Yes.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, more the merrier.
There's
I'll
only
keep
there's
going.
only about a handful of people, about 3 or 4 people, a couple of customers, a couple of staff.
Eddie shouts out. He turns back to the away from Bumblebee and turns back to the crowd and says, "All right, everyone, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna go deal with the one being all loud and disruptive to the situation. If you want to be like her, don't. That's
I
my
will
advice.
shoot you if you are like her.
Well, I'll shoot. I mean, what
Yeah.
ruin the mystique of the situation. Whatever. Anyway." You're not supposed to tell them you shoot them. You're supposed to leave it open so they're more scared. Whatever.
Okay.
Well-
I'm going to shoot them.
Well, what?
Passes his rebar from hand to hand and says, "What can I eat next?"
Hey, big buddy boy.
What?
There's what's it? Eddie points toward. I'm trying to find a fucking picture. Eddie points to the doors. The stairs go to the vault as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Eddie points to the back to the doors in the back of the room,
Yeah.
past the reception desk. And he says, "Are the doors closed?"
They are at the back of the office. They are. It's just like a fire exit.
All right. Eddie gestures with his gun over to the doors and says, "All right, big boy, through them. Take a left down some stairs. Literally just go in a straight line, and just keep going."
Okay.
Yeah,
Zog
yeah.
zog.
Oh, what a fucking. Yeah.
And
Anyway,
off I go.
Eddie goes to the screaming secretary.
She's still screaming.
All right, I guess I have to fucking deal with this. Bitch, screaming,
Do
jeez.
you want me to deal with it?
No, I like to have some fun as well. I haven't had much time to actually do much role playing besides the whole first 2 hours, so everyone's confused. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking? It's crazy.
Okay, I'm going to
Um,
cut you short and say that
yep,
you
go ahead.
successfully deal with the with. Are you going to kill her or let her live?
The thing is, if I say stop screaming, does she keep screaming?
No, there's a massive like juggalo stood next to her saying stop screaming, and she does, and she whimpers and cowers. Okay.
I shoot one of her legs off, or at least I shoot from the knee down off.
She's screaming somewhat more.
No, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right. And now I say stop screaming.
She's still screaming in pain more than anything.
I like wave my hand. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. And then I gesture over to Bumblebee like, you want to come take care of this?
Sure.
I'm fucking Italian.
I presume that you do dispatch her.
Yes, I am going to shoot her in the head.
That's fine.
No. Eddie's like walking towards the back doors, like down towards to the vault, and he like hears that, he sees that, and he's like, "Oh, come on, man!
Shut her leg off,
That's
dude."
Brutal.
Okay.
Brutal, man. She'll still live.
Okay.
No leg.
So back to the vault.
Yeah,
You are in the vault. Demetrius and Taurus in the vault.
Yep.
Okay. You find the lockbox you need to retrieve. It is behind a laser grid.
Okay, good. I've disabled the laser grid.
Yep.
If it's possible, and then I reach for the box.
And the box slides free.
Woo!
Good. I open the box.
It is locked.
Oh.
It's got a key lock.
Okay. I turn to the other guy and say, "Can you open this?"
And you, TJ?
I don't know, can I?
What
What skill do I need to open?
You will need skullduggery.
Oh, I have skullduggery as well.
I have skullduggery 2.
I have 3.
Oh, you better do it then.
So, what's your skullduggery's based on cunning? What's your cunning?
2. So
What's
I
yours,
have 2.
TJ?
Cunning?
Yep.
My cunning is 2.
So
But
there's
my
no point.
skullduggery is 2.
There's no point doing an assisted check. So it'll be 2 yellow and a green versus 3 purple.
Okay. Let's give it a try. Here you are.
Boom!
Oh,
You successfully pop the lock. Inside is a ring, single ring. It's a plain gold band.
I take the ring.
Okay, now,
Put it in my pocket.
no, you take the ring. I need you to give me a discipline check.
oh, it's the one.
The
What's
wrong wing.
A discipline check is willpower and discipline skill.
I don't have discipline skill.
So it's
So
going to be
later on.
straight willpower. It's going to be 4 purple dice.
Versus 2 green.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That would be a
You
negative.
instantly die.
Take the ring.
I'm not wearing the ring, by the way. I'm just putting it.
Take the ring.
You pick it up.
You are overwhelmed with visions of Taurus being hacked apart and arterial spray everywhere, and the lockbox is being decorated with the blood and the gore, and how amazing that would look, and you would just the idea of bathing in Taurus's blood seems like the most appealing thing you've ever had.
What the fuck?
Give this to Eddie right now.
You just everything about Taurus needs to die.
Okay.
I knew Gorge was a fucking chaos.
Where is Taurus right now?
Next to you.
Dang it.
We must worship the chaos.
Well,
gods
for
more.
Taurus's perspective, you look at Sebastian. He picks up the ring and then he stops and he's staring at the ring, and then blood starts coming out of his nose.
Tasty.
Okay.
I ask Sebastian, hey, dude, are you feeling alright? You've got blood coming out your nose.
All you can hear is the blood in your ears pounding.
Wait,
Great
who,
thing is I don't
Sebastian
have a
or
weapon
Taurus?
with me.
And all you can hear is the blood pounding, and you can hear the word, like an orc chanting. You can hear Mog, Roth, Mog, Roth, Mog, Roth, Mog, Roth.
Do I know what this means?
Not without knowledge of religion.
I don't have any knowledge of religion. Okay. Well, I guess that the only thing I can do if I want to kill him, start punching him, which there's nothing else I can do.
Okay, so,
Has Grog got down there yet?
Graal can be arriving.
Okay.
if Graal gets the ring, super
Yeah,
happy fun times.
I already thought about that. I think Growl's gonna pick one of them up in one hand and one of them up in the other hand and take them out.
Okay, so cinematic moment for expedience.
Yeah.
Sebastian just looks at Taurus and takes a swing. Taurus is a wily little athletic dwarf, and so basically is blocking all the hits because Sebastian isn't a fighter, and so it's essentially a slap fight. Think End of the Matrix 1, where Agent Smith is trying to hit him and he's just like blocking everything.
Yeah.
Can we hear this over the comms?
Not quite. Graal
like the
Graal
hitting.
turns up. Graal, they're fighting. You pick them. You decide to pick one of them up, or both of them up.
Yeah. We
guess-
have to get out of here, and even Graal with his one intellect knows that. So he picks one up. He tries to pick up Taurus
Yep.
to get him out of the reach of Sebastian. I don't know if Taurus is gonna acquiesce to this or not.
No, I'm quite happy to be out of range from the
Alright,
person trying
so
to get me
I
right
pick
now.
Taurus up by one leg, and he's upside down, and I'm holding him in the air.
Yep.
And then I do the same thing to Sebastian, and if he struggles, I just bash his head on the ground gently.
Sebastian.
You don't gently bash.
I
Sebastian.
gently bash, casually.
the
casually bash.
Graal turns up. The immediate right. Make me another willpower check. Same dice.
So that was 2 green and 4 purple, right?
That's gonna be fun. Ah,
Slightly better.
You're less shit. Congratulations.
You look at Graal and you wonder how far the blood would go if you cut his head off and let it spray. How amazing the pattern would look.
can I use the advantage to tell them it is the ring?
Yes.
Okay, it is the ring.
This doesn't really mean anything to Graal.
Not to grab. I'm not
It is-
expecting your brain to work. I'm expecting the other one's brain to work.
Graal is dumb.
Taurus, you're upside down and he's saying it's the ring.
Okay.
Give it to Frodo.
Sorry, go on.
Said give it to Frodo. Anyway,
Yeah.
it says it's the ring. What are you doing? What?
I'm hanging upside down and trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And
You can.
okay, I ask Growl to put me down and put me upright. So
I'll
Growl, put me down.
Okay. It's going to be a brawl check against one difficulty. So, to basically smack the ring out of his hand.
Okay,
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay, go for it if you want to do that.
No, somebody has to tell me to do it, but I
Yeah.
can do it.
Okay, I tell Growl to do that.
Go on then.
So.
Growl, get that ring out of his hand.
Oh, phrasing. You want to rethink that?
You can rephrase that if you want, because if Graal gets the ring, it could be super happy fun time, and Graal becomes
Yeah.
the big bad end boss.
No, I'm sticking with it.
Ah, this will be
What
fun.
the fuck?
Okay,
And this
so
is how you die.
Brawl
It's
is
either the orc gets it or Eddie gets it. Either way, there's an end boss.
Brawl is the skill Brawl plus your brawn. So what's your
Alright.
brawl?
My brawl is 2.
And what's your brawn? 4.
4.
2 yellow, 2 green, 1 purple. This is
Yeah.
basically a 90% chance of success.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Graal is not smart. He never was. Oh, look, I'm very successful.
Okay.
That's nice.
You successfully get hold of the ring. The advantages
have
are
the
going to
ring.
carry over to the willpower check.
Okay,
So-
that's good.
It's going to be discipline, which is your discipline skill.
Yes, which is nothing.
Okay.
I'm-
And what's your willpower? You can, if you want, to pass, not to pass the check, but to upgrade the dice.
Wait, hold on. Maybe we use a story point to say the ring requires a person to be smart enough.
Oh, it
To
really
be under
doesn't.
its
No, it
influence.
really
Alright.
doesn't.
It's clearly
I'm just trying to
ring.
lawyer here, man.
It is a orc
Yeah, it's an old
artifact.
artifact.
Am I
Exactly.
allowed to say this? It's probably like an orc. Yeah, it's an orc artifact,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
fine.
Well,
Guys-
it's saying it's talking in
It's-
orc. Yeah.
Guys, we need to
Yeah.
wrap this up because I have to go. So
Okay.
can we
Yeah,
move it along?
So,
that
brawl, go.
So,
Will- you-
I need to do a willpower check.
So it's
I
going to
have
be
no
your
discipline.
willpower. Your willpower is what?
2.
And what is your So 2. It's going to be 2 green.
2 green.
Upgraded with a story point to 1 yellow, 1 green. Versus 4 purple, but you're going to get 3 blue dice.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Pray, guys. That's 1 disadvantage.
It's a fail overall.
Yeah.
You you place the ring. The ring is in your hand. You get a
Yes.
vision. You get a vision of a land you've never seen, and
Yeah.
thousands of orcs in glorious battle with a bunch of anthropomorphic cats that you've never seen before. The overwhelming theme is blood. The orcs are soaked. They are wielding massive serrated cleavers, and everything is just everything about it just seems so right to you. The life is all about ripping your enemies apart and bathing in blood. The joy of the slaughter, joy of the kill.
Hunt, real quick, is Eddie and Bumblebee all hearing this?
You'll be hearing something going on, but not enough to really react yet.
Graal grins horribly
Graal,
and laughs.
Well, is any of this playing over comms at all?
a little bit. You can hear the conversations. You can be
Do
making
we
your way
hear
down
the
there.
tearing of arms?
No, they haven't yet.
Um,
They haven't got that far yet.
Oh.
So just to make this go by quicker, I'm gonna shoot all the civilians, and then I'm gonna just go down there.
That's fine.
All right.
I'm
So,
gonna
yeah, we're
make
going
you
down
roll.
together.
So you're going down together. I am gonna put this on a cliffhanger because we can resume this. So I'm gonna take
Can
over. Go on.
Oh, sorry. Can I just say what I was wanting
Go
to
for
say
it. Go
before?
for it.
Which is Graal grins horribly, laughs, turns to the 2 and says, "It will end in blood,"
Yep.
and pulls out his shepherd's hook.
Sweet.
And that's where we will hold it. The heist has gone well. You've retrieved the item you're supposed to. Weren't necessarily
no
supposed to
battle.
get the item out, but ho hum, you've successfully activated my trap card. Graal, all you can hear is drums, and to you it is drums. To anyone else, it would be the sound of the blood in your ears. And all
Yeah.
you can hear is building to a crescendo. Mog Roth, Mog Roth, Mog Roth.
I
And
guess you know what it means.
you, everyone realizes that Graal is bleeding out of everywhere. His fingernails, his ears, his eyes, his mouth, nose,
Good.
everywhere he is bleeding. And we will call it there.
Ow!
The after credit scene is Eddie and Bumblebee seeing that through like around the corner and just being like, let's get the fuck out of here,
I know, yeah.
and
Like,
just leaving.
Mogroth is the god of blood and slaughter.
Oh, nice.
He didn't fare very well in the Crucible. They all forgot about him because basically his people couldn't adapt to the modern world. But the Ring of Mogroth that you've found is an artifact that's featured in a couple of campaigns we've done over the last 5 years.
Cool.
If I were to say Ring of Mogroth to my player group, they would be like, nope. One of my characters had it as a way to add extra damage. He used it with inflict spells to cause extra damage to draw out the blood. Basically, if you don't bathe the ring in blood, it will take over you and gone to the slaughter.
I'm assuming we don't get XP for this, right? We do not.
No, you haven't finished the encounter yet. Come on, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We will leave it there for now, and we will resume the game another time next month, maybe.
Awesome.
jeez.
Oh,
That was amazing, Gorge. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you,
it's
George.
fine.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Blood!
There will be blood.
No, there's already a lot of blood. Don't worry. Just
I know,
go
yeah.
upstairs.
Minimal
Mogroth is
casualties by,
Very much the god of the orcs. He's the
I
opposite.
feel sorry for the janitor we didn't meet.
Oh yeah, that janitor got a fucking way with his life.
There is a
He's the
janitor
lucky
hiding in
one.
a cupboard going, I'm not gonna...
Little did we know Eddie was the janitor all along.
Cool.